Learning and Teaching. This is for B.Ed first year, exclusively for Pondicherry University, Vasavi College of Education, Pondicherry, explained by Dr. Shubha. So this Unit 2 deals with theoretical perspectives on learning. So perspectives on human learning, behaviorist, cognitivist, information processing view, humanist, social, constructivist, that is drawing selectively on the ideas of Skinner, Piaget, Carl Rogers, Vygotsky, their concepts and principles, and applicability and relevance to the present day teaching, and role of learner in with respect to all this, role of teacher in teaching learning situations with respect to these theories. This is what we are going to learn. The humanistic theory of teaching and learning is an educational theory that believes in teaching the whole child. A humanist approach will have a strong focus on students' emotional well-being and eternally view children as innately good at the core. That is, everybody is born good. Okay, so they have some innate potential, and this is what humanistic theory believes. Key proponents, that is the key persons of this humanism, include Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. So a primary purpose of humanism could be described as the development of self-actualized autonomous people. So the goal of education should be self-actualization. So here learning is student-centered and personalized, and the educators, that is the teacher's role, is a facilitator's role. Affective and cognitive needs are the key, and the goal is to develop self-actualized people in a cooperative and supportive environment. So Carl Rogers, and he calls this as experiential learning. So principally known as the founder of person-centered psychotherapy and almost the inventor of counseling. So also a leading figure in the development of humanistic approaches to education, Carl Rogers. He was discouraged by the emphasis on cognitivism in education. He believed this was responsible for the loss of excitement and enthusiasm for learning. That is, if we think only about the brain, knowledge, so if we don't give any importance to the feelings, then excitement will not be there in education. So Rogers' point of view emphasized the inclusion of feelings and emotions in education. So we need to cater to the emotions and feelings of the children, of the learner. Humanism, a paradigm that emerged in the 1960s. Now what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a view. You can say this as an example or a model. Okay, so a paradigm that emerged in the 1960s focuses on the human freedom, dignity and potential. So a central assumption of humanism, according to Hutt, is that people act with intentionality and values. This is in contrast to the behaviorist notion of operant conditioning and the cognitive psychologist belief that the discovering knowledge or constructing meaning is central to learning. See, actually we were talking about behaviorism and constructivism. Okay, now cognitivism also. Now in behavior we saw learning is nothing but a connection between a stimuli and a response. In cognitive approach, between stimuli and response, in between there are cognitive structures, and that is only for the brain, that is attached to the mind. Okay, but here the feeling is also considered. So it is not only constructing meaning, but the feeling, the attitude is also considered. So humanists also believe that it is necessary to study the person as a whole, especially as an individual grows and develops over the lifespan. So it follows that the study of the self, motivation and goals are the areas of particular interest. So an overall idea about humanist theory based on the notion that experience is a primary phenomena in the study of human learning and behavior. Okay, so experiential learning, one should experience and find out for himself. Now it placed emphasis on choice, creativity, values and self-realization, and ultimate concerns were development of human potential, dignity and worth. Okay, so meaningfulness and subjectivity were important than objectivity. So body, mind and heart should also be considered. That is the approach, humanistic approach. The 5 basic principles of humanistic education are: students' learning should be self-directed. A school should produce students who want and know how to learn. The only form of meaningful evaluation is self-evaluation. Feelings as well as knowledge are important in the learning process. Students learn best in a non-threatening environment. There should be no phobia. So that's very important. Again, in brief, humanist theory. This theory considers learning from the perspective of the human's unlimited potential for growth. Okay, so everybody, the innate potential in everyone is unlimited for growth. Human beings can control their own destiny, and people are inherently good and will strive for a better world. Okay, so people are free to act, and behavior is the consequence of human choice. So everybody is born good and born with a lot of talents and potential, and they can make their own choices to make their life better. But if their choices are bad, then it depends. Okay, so they can make, and they are free to make their own choice for good. The humanist theory, according to Carl Rogers, has the following characteristics: personal involvement. So one should feel that I want to study. So personal involvement, that motivation, self-motivation should be there. And self-initiated, he has to initiate. And pervasive, evaluated by the learner. He has to evaluate himself, not the teacher. And essence is meaning. Okay, so humanist theory has the potential for designing a true learning society, since there is a natural tendency for people to learn, and that learning will flourish of nourishing, encouraging environments are provided. So the teachers, the school or any institution should provide them a place where nourishing will be done, where encouragement will be done. So congenial learning environment should be given to the students, and if they are self-motivated and self-directed, then learning will take place and they will make right choices to be a better human, better. So what is the implications on teaching? Experiential learning, okay, of humanism. Learning by doing and reflection by doing. So self-actualization also. So man's tendency to actualize himself, to become his potentialities. If one's needs are met, a person can achieve their full potential. So Rogers believed open communication and empowering an individual was the key to self-actualization. So the goal for education should be self-actualization, and that can be achieved only if a person has a motive and a quest for learning.